Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Q&A. It's been a week and a half of Q&As galore. Today it's my turn. Let's take a look at what's going on. I got the comments up. I'm ready. I've accessed my deepest memories. My knowledge is fresh. It's near the surface. I got like skimmed milk. I can just and present it to you. That is a terrible and disgusting analogy. Hit me with some questions, folks. Let's take a look at what's going on. Tommy Miller's in here. James Cartwright. That person's right there. Loopy is here. Michael Heller. John Bissett. That next name I'm going to have a hard time pronouncing. Timon. What's going on, everybody? All the usual suspects. I love it. All right, let's see. Good morning. All right, let's see. This is a good question right here. Let's test this. There it goes. Question: why didn't you get a tattoo? Because I don't want one. I haven't had any yet. I'm not gonna start now. So yeah, nobody should get a tattoo without really thinking about it. Tom really thought about it for a long time, as he said in his own video. So I have not thought about it, therefore not getting one. Audio and video are fine. Thank you, James. Why do people want Baby Shark? What's happening? Okay, here we go. Hi, Z. Hello. Have you ever made a list with your favorite post-apocalyptic games? Probably. I make a lot of lists. I like listing. I'll tell you one that's very new and I think is a fantastic game is Radlands. Radlands is a very new game, just came out or is now starting to deliver to backers. And it is wonderful. I really like it. I think it's got a great look. It's a really fun head-to-head two-player game. That one's one I recommend. And then another one I got from Kickstarter that I backed is one called Dust Biters. Dust Biters is a micro game, also a post-apocalyptic kind of Mad Maxian thing, in which you are both you and your opponent are trying to outrace a dust storm that keeps swallowing up the vehicles you're racing with. So it's jockeying for position kind of game. Really tiny, very fun, and great look as well. All right. Greetings from Patagonia. I love it. Victor Chris says, hello Z, have you played the Ankh expansion, Pharaoh? I heard that it makes the game better. I have played it once. I played two-player. I think I love Ankh at two players. It's definitely, for me, the best player count. I played Pharaoh, and I have a suspicion that Pharaoh, as an expansion, is better for more players. So therein lies a little dilemma for me, right? I liked it. I don't know if I would say it makes the two-player experience better, but I think it would make the multiplayer experience better. Which is not my preferred way to play the game, right? So I think it's interesting, though. It's definitely a game shaker. It changes up the game in a nice way. Of all these big games that have come out before, like, from the same designer, same trilogy of games, Blood Rage and Rising Sun and all that, I think Pharaoh is the one that does the most of all these kinds of expansions that have come out to shake up the game. So if that's what you're looking for, this is a good one for that. Greetings from Australia. And I answered the tattoo bit already. Everybody's so interested in the tattoo. Almost every question so far is about the tattoo. All right. Angela says, "Good morning, Z. Do you like coconut?" I do like coconut. Yes. When where I grew up, we had a coconut palm out front, so I hold coconut near and dear to my heart. Not because it's my favorite fruit or anything. I just had that connection to it growing up. So I do like coconut, and I like coconut flavored things as well. There was a review for a Baby Shark game on breakfast. That's what it was. Got it. Let's see. What has been your favorite of the non-gaming products covered on crowd surfing, and why is it Fingerbot? Fingerbot, man, that's a classic. Fingerbot is top five for sure. The other one that sticks out in my head for me is that pair of shoes that, or maybe they were like inserts in the shoes, and they were filled with sand. And the the main push was that it felt like walking on sand at the beach. And I just don't know when that gets fun to be walking on sand everywhere. I like walking on sand at the beach, but then you leave the beach and go to a supermarket and now you're still walking on sand, and then you go to a baseball game and you're still walking on sand. I'm just, I don't really want to keep walking on sand the rest of my life. So that one just made me wonder if there was a big demand for people to feel like they're walking. I don't know. But Fingerbot, you are right. It's the best. Let's see. Is Fallout in your post-apocalyptic games list? I love Fallout the video games. I think they are fantastic. Some of my favorite games. In fact, I think my number one video game still is Fallout 3. Just absolute juggernaut for me. Fallout the board game, the one that came out from Fantasy Flight Games, is pretty good, but it had some problems, and I used to own it for a while. Eventually, let it go because the best system in that game, which was the sort of emerging storyline with the codex or whatever they called it, where a card would say accomplish this, and grab card 23, put it into play, or if this happens instead, then grab card 24, and it kind of told you a story that you were following without knowing where it was going. That system got lifted wholesale and put into Arkham Horror 3rd Edition. So I just stuck with that game instead. But Fallout as a setting, I love. And I'm still to this day holding out that FFG is going to come out with another living card game, and it's going to be a Fallout themed game. Let's go. Hook it up with that Fallout. Come on. Let's see. Ratlands. All right. Which game mechanism would you like to see in more games? I'm gonna say I split you choose mechanisms. I've always liked that, where I set up a little display or something like that, and then you pick, and then or whatever the players pick, and the one who split gets the last choice. I want to see innovation on that system, though. It's been used a few times. I really do like it. I just want to see somebody take that and build on it, something on it. Maybe it's a nice split, or maybe we just reveal four cards or something for the four players, and then the next player adds a card to one of the stacks and takes a different one. And then the next player adds a stack to one of the to a card to one of the stacks and takes one that they did not add to. I want to see innovation on that system. So, that's the one I'm going to go with. uh let's see here. If I can explain this. Z, I love your system for rating. But can you explain game arc to me? I notice it's usually lower for gardening games. Lower for gardening games. I don't know what you mean by that. Just games with a gardening theme? Um, Maybe. I have not noticed the trend. Anyway, so let me try to explain it, okay? So game arc encompasses a few different things, okay? It is game length to interest ratio is encompassed in that game arc, okay? Does the game outstay its welcome? That would fall in here. Is it too short? That also would fall in here. Does not have time to develop. And then there's the rising action. What's the level of tension? Does the game have peaks and valleys? Is there that kind of interest in it? Is it kind of a flat, fairly flat game? Are you doing the same thing in the second round as you are doing in the 15th round? I have a problem with that. I want to be doing different things, or at least for the choices to be different, for my tableau to be different. I shouldn't be putting the exact same amount of thought into my very first turn as I'm putting into my 15th turn. Yeah, all those things go into it. That's the game arc for me. How does a session of this play out, and is that satisfactory? That's largely what I'm talking about. Rob Thomas says, "Hi Z, have you been tempted by any miniatures games lately, like Games Workshop style games?" Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm trying to. No, I know. I backed that Lands of Galzier game, which is not a miniatures game. It's like an adventure game or a story-driven game. So that's a big one coming whenever that's delivering from GameFound. Miniatures games, though, that I've been tempted by. I can't think of any off the top of my head anyway, so I don't think I've seen anything like that lately. I guess you could say Vagrant Song, but again, it's standees. And then that new Townsfolk Tussle looks good, but there's not a lot of miniatures in that. I haven't played that one yet. But Vagrant Song is excellent. At this point, I guess I want from a miniatures game like that something distinct. I wanted to have a cool theme like those two games, Vagrant Song, Townsfolk Tussle, or just do something outside the box. I've got the other bases covered. All right. Hannah says, "Have you purposely done any special interior design in your home?" No, not really. I put up a little. I mean, a little decoration has been sort of very, on purpose, I suppose. I have. I found these. I guess they're games. I mean, it's like a set of Chinese checkers, and I think the other one is Parcheesi, I think. But they're meant to be. You can play them, so they have a board and they have a frame and all that. But they're also meant to be hung on the wall. So I have two of those. They're from the same line of games, yeah, of artwork. And I have two of those hanging on a wall at home. So stuff like that I do like, and they have a retro kind of look, so I really enjoy that. But as far as anything else, other than that, not too much. No. John's asking, "Hey, what is your favorite board in Downforce? I can't help but love the new one that uses ramps." John, I haven't played the new one yet. I know that it includes two sides, and one of them I know has ramps, but I haven't played that expansion yet. It's Downforce is not coming out enough. It's not hitting the table enough for me to pursue it, but I do want to get that expansion at some point because I do like Downforce plenty. Of all the other ones, I don't know. I don't think I have a clear winner. At least I can't think of one. A clear front runner. I just pick one and play it, but none of them so far, not including those two new ones, stands out enough for me to go, oh, this is my favorite. George is asking, do you ever play in Board Game Arena? I do not. I don't do a lot of online gaming like that. Roman Flores is asking, hey Z, are you finishing up the Unsung Gems series this year? Will you include an episode for numbers? Yes, I'm finishing it up. In fact, I've already got the next one lined up for this week, and I will include one for numbers. Or I'm planning to anyway. I need to see when I get closer to the end of the alphabet if I'm going to have to combine any letters. I might do that. I might combine X, Y, Z or something. But then I'll likely take a look and see if I can do one for numbers on its own. But yeah, it's happening. I'm going to jump right back into it starting this week. Hmm. Oh man. Okay. Top 5 favorite post-apocalyptic IPs. Okay. Well, Fallout is my number one. I would say. Mad Max. um. Fallout, Mad Max. What else is a good one that stands out from something? I'm trying to think. Oh man, wow, this is hard because I'm trying to think of like movies that are post-apocalyptic, just any video games that have that vibe. There's so many, but also I'm not necessarily thinking of any right now. Um, that's tough. I'm trying to just come up even with one more so I can give you a top three. I really like alternate history, post-apocalyptic also, or like just alternate history and stuff went wrong. So that's also a very interesting setting or trapping for me. I don't know. I'm not coming up with anything else right now. Maybe I'll come back to that. James is asking, have you ever played any of the Choose Your Own Adventure game books? Like the Fighting Fantasy books or Fabled Lands books? I don't know what those are. I don't think so. I don't know what that is. Watching your videos, it seems like you tend to like shorter, smaller games. If you were to generalize, what would you say are your favorite types of games of some of the different people at the Dice Tower? Oh, okay, I see. What would you say are the favorite types of games of some of the people at the Dice Tower? Got it. Okay. Um, well, I know Roy likes big space epic games. I think that's one of his favorite kinds of games. And again, putting anybody in a box is silly, but excuse me. But because I know he likes, he'll also throw down a little card game or he'll jump into like a Euro game and crush us. But we're generalizing, okay? So he likes those kinds of games. Mike's taste tends to line up the most with my own, but he generally will like more complex games than I will. Like his threshold for comfort is a little bit higher. Chris is the most Euro game of us all, and Tom technically is the most sort of omnivorous of us all. He goes all over the map, and also he plays games with kids. Tom has that, because of the kids. Um, Yeah, Camilla likes kind of dark themes. I know she likes that. She plays a lot of co-op games also. Doesn't like too much of the direct confrontation. I like a lot of two-player games. That's a big one for me. And I like games to have a nice mix of strategy, tactics, kind of, vibe, but then special action cards I live and die by. I love that kind of stuff. So I tend to like a lot of French designs because I do that very well. French designs historically for me have taken, excuse me, have taken the sort of, mechanical rigors of German kind of games and added the flavor of sort of American games and given me a good mixture. So there you go. Hopefully that answers that. Hmm. All right, all right. Let me see if I can catch up here with some stuff. I talked about that. Okay, Jesse's asking a question about the Kickstarter. Z, what keeps you busy with regards to the Dice Tower Kickstarter campaign? Artwork, stretch goals, shipping. Excuse me. As you can see, I'm getting over a little something here. So I'm putting together all the images that are going to show up on the Kickstarter page, or most of them, I should say. Obviously, the companies will give us illustrations, and then I put it into a format that is congruent, and that goes into the look. And I kind of settle on the general aesthetic. We have a theme this year, and then I'll take that theme and work around it with the fonts, with the color choices, with that sort of idea. I put together those images. I put together the stretch goals image that you'll see. Um, and then of course spitballing anything else. It's a very much a group effort here at work. It's finding and discussing stretch goals and what are we offering and how are we offering it and what shows up where. All of those things are pretty much everybody talking about it. But what do I mainly do? Put my head down and work on some graphics. Tommy Miller says, question, Z. I just heard Justin mention that they are working on a big box for Unmatched to hold all the content. Thoughts? Really? I like that idea. That's going to be a huge box. I also worry about the fact that, when is it going to be not obsolete, but they keep coming out with content for that game, which is fantastic. But I feel like those big boxes are always a little scary because at some point it now is no longer it no longer holds everything, right? That happened with New Hiroshima Hex, the new Hiroshima X box that came out. Pretty much as soon as it came out, there already was a new faction that didn't fit in that box's insert. So that's a little bit of a concern, but restoration games, they know what they're doing. I mean, through and through, and I'm sure this is going to be a very cool box. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Sure, absolutely. I have a lot of unmatched stuff, and it is starting to get unwieldy. Um, let's see. Richard is asking, "Hey Z, who likes post-apocalyptic games as much as you at the Dice Tower?" Mike likes those games, but Camilla I know really likes those games too. Aaron says, question, have you played Sobek 2 players yet? I have played Sobek 2 players already, and I think you'll see a review of that coming out soon-ish. The quick and quick and dirty spoiler is I like it. It's good stuff. Oh, it's Liz. What was the highlight of your holidays? So glad to y'all taking some time off. Yeah, it was good to have a little bit of time off there. My highlight, I got to I got to play some of the Exit. What's it called? Advent calendar. We got one of those at home. Amanda bought one, and it's really neat. I haven't really. I'm not a big Advent calendar person, but that was fun. I'm sorry, folks. So every day you do a little puzzle. Basically, it points you to where the next one's gonna be. You know, that kind of thing, and that's neat. It's really fun. So again, I haven't done any sort of Advent calendar ever. Really, open up a little door and there's something in there, whatever the theme may be. But the escape room idea was very clever. So we were away for a little bit of time, so actually we haven't finished it. But I really enjoyed that, being able to do a little puzzle every night. That was fun. Question: Would you rather hungry hippos for ears or the trouble pop-o-matic dice for a nose? What? I guess I'll take the ears, the hungry hippos for ears. But what? Yes. Yeah. Little hippos. Do I have to like smack them and they eat anything incoming? That could be like a superpower. If I could defend myself from incoming spherical projectiles. Uh, okay, let's see. Thank you, Liz. That's very sweet. Okay, Mantad says, interested in Abyss. If someone doesn't like the magic or sorcerer themes, could they just leave those lords? Would it cause a problem? When you say leave those lords, do you mean leave them out of the game's setup or like not buy them? I don't know. I mean, I feel like in Abyss specifically, the magic and sorcerer themes just don't come through that much. I mean, if you're already getting past the premise to even begin playing that you are in an underwater fish, anthropomorphic fish kind of society, then the magic and the sorcery are just not front and center. That's just not. That's not something that I think I've ever thought about. These characters have a military caste. There are farmers that farm algae. There are politicians in this world. I mean, you might as well think of the sorcerers, if there are any, as like doctors. So yeah, I don't think that's a problem. If you were talking about people, humans, and the illustrations were, this fella has a pointy hat with stars on it and he's waving around a wooden stick, that's magic. That dude's a sorcerer. I just don't see that in Abyss, I guess. So, yeah, I don't see that being a problem. Assuming you can, again, get into the theme at all. Look at this guy. Best game of 2022 so far. Are you kidding me? I don't know yet. I haven't. Uh, I haven't played enough. I will say some of the games I have played, and this is just a little teaser for our top 100 coming soon. But some of the games I have played since we did our top 10 of the year, 2021. There's one or maybe two games that just missed me being able to play them before that list had to go up that just might sneak onto my top 100. You can count those, but you're going to have to wait for that. All right. All right, let's see. Yeah, that has already been asked, Todd. Yes. I did not get tattooed because I didn't want to. Let's see. Antoine is asking, have I ever played the Witcher video game or watched a series or read the books? I saw the first season. I'm waiting on the second season. I mean, I know it's out. I'm waiting to start watching it. I've played The Witcher. In fact, I played The Witcher, the original one, on a PC after I had already played The Witcher 2, which I really like. I think The Witcher 2 is great. I have not, I know, I have not played The Witcher 3 yet. I have a copy of it somewhere, but I haven't played it yet. I'm always just really late to the party when it comes to video games. I'm just way, way, way behind the curve usually. So I haven't played that yet, but I've played 2, and I played the original one a little bit. It's not that good. I have not read the books. I don't think I would like the books. I'm not a big fantasy reader. If I'm going to read a novel, it'll probably be either horror themed or sci-fi themed. But yeah, I enjoy it. It's fun stuff. Thoughts on Final Girl? I have not played Final Girl, Brian, so I don't know. That's all. That's Mike and Camilla's played that. If aliens landed at the Dice Tower, what game would you teach them first? I think I would teach them some sort of abstract game. Like maybe, I would teach them like Yinch or something like that. Just to understand how their minds work. Do they follow? Are they logical creatures? Or are they born of chaos? Can they tell black and white apart? The pieces on the color on the board. Uh, how like sharp are they? Can they outmaneuver a common human? That would be me in this case. I would teach them something like that. It's very Close Encounters of the Third Kind, with the that kind of thing. That's what I would go with. But then Tom would probably be like, "Hey, let's play Cosmic Encounter instead," and we would all die. So, you know, that could happen too. Can you do the next 60 seconds of the Q&A in Spanish? Yes, but why would I do that? No one's gonna know what's happening. Well, you would know, but Nobody else would. See, this guy gets it. Fallout LCG would be an insta buy. Liz says, love the t-shirt. Yes. Let me see it. Right on t-shirt. This one. Blue on blue. Wearing blue jeans. So much of the blue. So much of the blue. Hi, Natalie. Hello from Scotland. That's wonderful. Hi. Z, I was wondering how you get your skin looking so soft. I don't do anything special to it. Soap, that's good. Don't really moisturize, but it's very humid here. That's part of it. A little beard oil sometimes. That's good. I think I'm just you know what? If you wanna say it, I'll just go ahead and let you say that I am just born fortunate. I won't say it, but if you want to attribute it to just having been lucky, then I'll allow that. Thank you. Oh man, I love it. Do you have any favorite brand of custom cards? I do. I like Theory 11 quite a bit, and then King's Wild is good. Also, the King's Wild project. If I had to pick, I'd say Theory 11. They're good in betweener, right? They're not too wild and way outside the box for people that are used to bicycle decks, standard bicycle decks. And yet they are elegant and distinct and often custom enough for people who like those things. So they're a nice in between. A nice deck of Theory 11 cards would make a wonderful gift or a present, or just even the presentation itself would please kind of folks throwing towards both camps. So I'm going to go with that. All right. Carl is asking, do you think Sleeping Gods is better with more people or fewer? 2 versus 4. Just not one. One player I think is too much for one player to run. With 2, it works. With 4, that's fine. Everybody is still running at that point 2 characters, right? At least? Yeah. Right? It's like 9 of them. That's fine. Both of those are fine. I don't think I would go above 4. You have too few people to worry about at that point, but running a couple of characters, they're so basic. They're really straightforward characters to run. But 2 works surprisingly well. It's not overwhelming at 2. 1, I would say, too many people. I feel like I'm running a whole cast, of characters. So, but between 2 and 4, it's more about the consideration there becomes then, do you want people to have a little less to do? In front of them, a little less to sort of deal with. Both numbers should be good. That's an interesting question, Antoine. Of the apps you've played so far, which one exceeds the board game it's based on by the widest margin? I don't have my iPad, or I would quickly look and tell you. I think my answer would be the roll and write train one. What's that called? Hmm. The one that came out in like green and yellow and red and blue. Why can't I think of that game's name right now? Railroad Inc. That's it. Railroad Inc. I think is the one that the implementation in the app, the look, the neatness of not having to scribble with a dry erase pen on your own board and then careful not to smudge that. And just the mental gymnastics of everything you need to remember you haven't used yet. It's like 6 faces, 6 dice faces you need to add, possibly more as you unlock bonuses in the middle of a round. But you can't touch these dice because they're in the middle of the table for everybody. So you can't be manipulating them. The app makes it way easier. And it is the biggest gap for me. If I was gonna just say, if the only the app existed, um, for any of these games, I would say that's the biggest change then from the dice game or the board game existing. So there you go. To the point that I would recommend that app, and I would not recommend the game. How about that? Do you find the word crunchy annoying to describe games? Because I don't. That's good because I say it sometimes. I'm glad you do not. I don't find it annoying. I think we use words to describe games, words that are often nonsensical, really, when you think about it. But we're trying to bring an emotional relationship to a board game, to this plaything, this pastime. So as long as we all know what the person, the player, the describer meant by using the word, then it's fine. It's shorthand. Just like all of language. It's shorthand. Crunchy means thinky, right? It means there was a lot to chew on as you went through either the rules or the game, so I get it. It makes sense. I understand what that means. Um, I don't have a problem with people describing games with these terms, whether they're overused or not, because again, they are meant to help you understand something quickly. That's fine. I'm good with that. Okay, let's see. Last year, in the review of Marvel United from Kickstarter, you said the tiles were not worth getting. Is that the cardboard locations? What about the villains locations? I haven't gotten any of them. Okay, I have seen the cardboard tiles for locations. I've seen those. They're fine. I just don't think it's an upgrade that you need. I haven't had any trouble with my thin cardboard or papery. They're not papery, but they're like cardstock locations. I haven't had a problem with that. They warp a little bit, and then you just bend them back a bit and put them on the table. You never need to do anything with them. They just sit there. And then the cardboard locations, unfortunately, introduce problems, which they tried to address. Like basically you're resting cards on these locations. And because it's cardboard, now when you play a card on it that's part on the tile and part off, it sits at an angle. So they made this cardboard little attachment that you would put on the location so the card would sit flat on it. That's an issue. That's like it's another thing now you need to like attach to each one just so that the cards aren't sitting there at an angle. You don't need them. Yeah, I just thought you didn't really. I'm not going to be. The wear and tear is just not going to be enough for me to be concerned about it. That's just me. People maybe are going to be seeing more wear and tear in those. And I'm talking about both the cardboard locations and the villains playboards. Okay, so Todd is asking, Z, what is your ultimate number of players for a game? For me, it has always been 5. Odd numbers seem to lead to more variety in the game. I think if I had to pick, I would say my favorite player count is 3. Partly for the same reason. Obviously, this is not going to work for every game, right? But At 3, I feel there's a nice balance between possible differences in play style, speediness around the table, turns coming back quickly, and also a game that really sings at 3 is a kind of a rare thing too. So finding one that does and then playing with 3 people can be a very satisfying experience. I don't know. I think 3 just it's a little more intimate also than 5. Um but I would agree that I understand what you're saying, and I could see why 5 is the way it is. I feel the same way. For me, 3. What? Has any board game ever made you cry? No, I don't think so. No. That's an interesting question, though, because I've had movies that have made me cry. Um, can't remember of a book that has made me cry. And I guess music. There's music that has made me cry, but not board games and not books. I think it's because in those two, you control the amount of involvement, right? Like in a book, it's your imagination. So you can dial it in. Like no one never has a book given me a jump scare. Like I've never been like flip a page and read and suddenly But that's because I control the engagement level, right? Same thing for a board game, I think. Whereas music, it's pre-produced, it hits you the way it hits you, and a movie, same thing. It's an interesting idea, though. Vanessa's asking, do I have any favorite TV game shows? No, I'm not a big TV game show person, so I couldn't pick one. I don't know. I haven't seen too many. What's your favorite miniature? What is your favorite miniature in gaming? Okay, wow, Cthulhu. You mean like specifically a miniature? I don't know, something from the others, maybe. Uh, One of those big nasty sins. I answered that about Board Game Arena. I have not been able to play Merchants of the Dark Road yet. They sure do make beautiful games. But no, I haven't played it yet. Here we go. This is interesting. Mark is asking about if there's a reason we don't sell more merchandise. We sell a little bit of merchandise, but if since you're bringing it up, make sure if you're interested in merch and you're interested in just supporting us, hey, you want to be here tomorrow as we launch our Kickstarter campaign. So if you're looking for something that is Dice Tower branded, we'll have some things on there. Or if you're just looking for promos, or if you're just looking to support us, and that stuff really is just a little bonus on top, then make sure you come back. Tomorrow is the big kickoff. All right, so James Carr is asking, how many different decks of playing cards do you have now, and do you have anywhere special to store them all? So as far as how many, I don't know exactly. If I had to guess, I would say about 80 or so. As far as do I have anywhere special to store them, I do. I was given a gift, a lovely gift of this large display case. I think I posted a picture of it up on Instagram, so you can check it out there. Which, it hangs on the wall. It's like a big glass case, basically, and then it's got a large swinging door, and you can load it with decks of playing cards. And that's in a hallway right now, looking gorgeous. So, yes, I have something very nice to display them. Um, Adil is asking, I really enjoyed, or saying, I really enjoyed your Dead collectible card games top 10. Have you been playing any non Dead ones? A Dead collectible card game, by the way, is one that they've stopped producing, which happens to many collectible card games. I have not been playing very many collectible card games lately. I've been playing some games that feel like collectible card games, like I mentioned Radlands. Radlands has that feeling of a little bit of a collectible card game. It's not one, but no, no, I haven't played anything like that. I've got Magic the Gathering, obviously, and to be fair, I think that might be the only one I have that is not dead right now. I don't, because I haven't really gotten into any new ones recently. I know that they still do make new collectible card games, but I haven't checked out any of those in many years. So, nope, haven't done that. All right, let's see. Ooh, that's a good one. Waterworld. I do like Waterworld. I have a soft spot for Waterworld. I know that it gets panned a lot, but you know what? I really like it. That would be my top 5. Yeah. All right, let's see. Yeah, have you ever done a top 10 post-apocalyptic games? I don't think I have because I don't think there's that many. Like I would have to be really grabbing some that I wouldn't necessarily recommend to just to get to 10. I could see myself doing a top 5 though at some point. Well, thank you, Bruce. That is very nice. It's a fun rabbit hole to fall down into. Victor's asking if I've played Total War. I have not played Total War. Jose Guerrero is asking about the new Spider-Man film. No spoilers. Don't go anywhere. No spoilers. I thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty good. I am definitely in the minority. It seems folks love it. I thought it had some pacing issues and there were some annoying things that I thought they should have tightened up. Okay. Um. All right. Let's see. I'm just looking for something here that I can answer interestingly and not just say, "Oh, I don't know." Da 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 da. I'm looking. I'm looking. What is Frankenstein's monster staring at? Where's he at? I don't know. He's looking at the door right now. Natalie's asking if I've had a COVID-19 test and to keep an eye on that cough. I have had the test. I just have a cold. And I'm getting over a cold, but I've been tested. I'm good. I think ever since we got hit with COVID-19, it's like the world forgot that other diseases are still here. So it's like, if I stub a toe, I'm like, oh, COVID-19. It's like just sometimes you just cough, sometimes you still get colds. Um, And I'm thankful that's what it is, but that's what it is. I've checked that out. Michael is asking if I've ever visited Poland. I have not visited Poland. I've been to Germany, in that part of the world. I've been to. That's it. I would love to visit more places. I've been to France, I guess. I've been to Paris, but for a day. I'm talking basically anywhere in Europe. Okay, I'm not trying to say that those things are close. But no, I have not been to Poland. I'd love to go to Poland. What themes do you dislike in games? Very generic fantasy is probably the main one that I dislike. Um, just elves and goblins and wizards. It's like okay, and there's nothing outside of the box when it comes to that. It's a theme that feels about as copy paste as it gets. Those themes I find kind of boring. Just very very by the numbers. What other themes do I not really enjoy? I don't know. I'm not. I mean, I'm good with lots of themes. I guess the other one would be just the you are a merchant in the 1600s in some city in Europe, and you are trying to collect the most silk. That's also pretty not bore. I mean, it's boring, but it's not that I wouldn't play that game. I'm not gonna be sticking around because of the theme. If the game's great, I'll play it. But the theme is not going to add to my enjoyment. Whereas other themes, in many cases, do add to that and bring me back to the table, or they help me get into it. This is, a theme like those two is not going to do that for me. Did you get some new glasses? Those look nice. I did not get new glasses. What's happening today? I got nice skin. I got nice glasses. My shirt is on point, said Liz. Something's going on, folks. I'm feeling I'm feeling, I mean, dare I say it, dead sexy. That's what Mike said as I came in this morning. Hello, Clara. Nice to catch one of your chats live. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's good to see you here. Kevin says, what's your favorite pizza topping? I am going to give you a very boring answer, Kevin. Pepperoni is my favorite. That's it. Just put some pepperoni on it. Throw some onions on there. Some black olives on there. Maybe green peppers. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. That's it. That'll do it. This is interesting, Todd. Zen question. If you had to give up either the thrill of a victory or the joy of playing a new game, which one would you give up? I think the thrill of a victory, it's not that strong with me, and when I often don't find myself sort of thrilled by victory. Whereas I do like discovering new games, especially when it's a game you don't know anything about, or you were unsure how you would like it, and it continues to reveal itself as a fantastic thing. That joy I would never want to lose, you know. But the thrill of victory, I'm not gonna say I've never been thrilled by victory. Certainly, sometimes you snatch, what's the saying? Snatch success from the jaws of defeat. What is that saying? You know what I mean. No, victory. Snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And that can be very thrilling. That can be very fun. But I normally don't really care about who won or who lost. And I'm happy to just. I often forget who won and who lost. When people bring up games later on, I'm like. And they'll say, like, yeah, when you won that game, I'm like, I did? I don't remember. So that one's not a difficult question for me. Oh, goodness. All right, I'm looking. I'm looking. Psychic Lord says, have you played any games with contributors Doug and Doug? And I'm going to answer in my head, Psychic Lord. There you go. For the rest of you, I have not. They're fun dudes. I like those guys. The exit calendar was fun, says Clara. Yeah. Come on. There's a lot of tattoo questions still. Will you be wearing a tiara for formal night on the cruise? Maybe. I could see that happening. Let me see. What game of 2020 do you feel was the most innovative? I don't know. But if I had to say, pull something out of my hat real quick, I'm going to say The Search for Planet X. How about that? I think that was 2020 or 2021 or whatever. What are you asking me? 2020? The Search for Planet X. Whichever year that came out. Do I have a favorite Ghibli Studios film? Or Ghibli? I say Ghibli, but I don't know. Spirited Away, I think, is my favorite. If they were to make a Zee Garcia scented candle, what would it smell like? What would it smell like? I like that. Ah, boy. This is like a question I shouldn't be answering myself. It's like the weirdest question. It would smell like, I wanted to have a very clean smell, but also a very manly smell. I wanted to smell a little bit like sawdust and fried eggs. I wanted to have a little bit of a hint of rum, tropical flavor. Maybe coconuts. We talked about that. Coconuts would be good. Yeah, yeah. I want it to be a candle that comes in a bottle shaped like a machete. And then you light it and it melts the wax and it reveals inside of it a single solitary dagger upon which is inscribed the message. Maybe I'm getting too ambitious. Anyway, there you go. Something like that would do it. Dave, I talked about that. Yeah, I got Radlands, and a review will be coming out soon. I think we might be doing a 4-way of that, but I'm not sure. Stay tuned for that one. It's soon. All right, we're about to wrap it up here, folks. Let me see what I'm missing near the bottom, okay? I'm going to just scroll up ahead. Nick, good morning. All right, let's see. Catching up. Gonna scroll ahead as I'm catching up. Blue hat. I don't know what that means. All right, let's see. No manual labor means soft skin. Look at this punk. Where do you think I got the sawdust from? Nah, man. Calloused hands. Not really, not right now. See, I can't do it. I can't lie. My cough comes up when I lie. goodness. I just got a thumbs down. What's up? Why did I get a thumbs down? I was just kidding. I'm dying. Oh, I'm really, really far behind. Jeez. Okay. I'm just scrolling to the bottom here. Z sent a candle for Kickstarter stretch goal. That's good. The opening of a new board game. Ah, that's a good smell. Spicy rum-flavored eggs with coconut sprinkles. Shaving cream. Yeah. That's a good one. Menthol. A little menthol and... menthol, honey, and rum. How about that? I'm done. I'm going to go light up a candle and sit with my thoughts, folks. All right. That's it, everybody. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Thank you for all the questions. Now you got me thinking about post-apocalypse and candles. I can do something with that. Some sort of I split, you choose world in which we barter with only candles. But there's one specific candle that's your secret candle. That's the one you want to light and cherish and treasure. And as you offer people candles, they might steal your water and leave you for dead in the desert. So something like that. I'm working on it. Anyway, I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. Stay tuned, as I said, for all the goodies coming up this week and our Kickstarter going live mañana. My name is Zee Garcia, folks. You're the best. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.